In the spring of 2022, a tectonic shift occurred in the theater of modern conflict. A weapon system costing less than a used car began systematically destroying battle tanks worth millions of dollars. The war in Ukraine has effectively shattered decades of established military doctrine. Across the plains of Eastern Europe, traditional armored columns, once the undisputed spearhead of land dominance, found themselves hunted by commercial quadcopters carrying simple hand grenades and plastic explosives. What began as desperate battlefield improvisation quickly evolved into a highly coordinated drone warfare doctrine. This asymmetrical reality has rendered heavy armor vulnerable and forced a global recalculation of military spending, defense procurement, and infantry tactics. The battlefields of Ukraine have shown that in the 21st century, cheap distributed lethality can match and often defeat concentrated industrial military power. For three-quarters of a century, post-World War II military planning was anchored on three main pillars: armored dominance, heavy artillery saturation, and total air supremacy. Modern main battle tanks, protected by complex composite plating, explosive reactive armor, and active protection systems, were engineered to breach enemy lines under a protective umbrella of air superiority. Tank-on-tank engagements and supersonic air-to-air battles define the strategic baseline for superpower conflicts. Standard operating doctrines assumed that control of the skies required multi-million-dollar stealth fighter jets, highly trained pilots, and massive ground-based air defense networks. Infantry units operating without organic air support were considered highly vulnerable, while heavy armored formations reigned supreme on the battlefield. Under this model, military power was measured by the sheer size of a nation's defense budget and its ability to manufacture complex, heavy machinery. This capital-intensive doctrine was fundamentally disrupted by consumer-grade electronics. In the opening months of the 2022 invasion, Ukrainian soldiers and volunteer networks began adapting commercial off-the-shelf quadcopters, most notably the DJI series. Originally designed for hobbyists, filmmakers, and agricultural monitoring, these compact, battery-powered platforms became the ubiquitous eyes of the infantry. Operating at altitudes of several hundred meters, these quiet quadcopters provided platoon-level commanders with persistent, real-time aerial reconnaissance. For the first time in history, the historical fog of war was pierced not by strategic satellite passes or multi-million-dollar military UAVs, but by a $1,000 plastic drone. Soldiers could map enemy trench lines, track troop movements in real time, and coordinate small unit maneuvers with unprecedented situational awareness, turning the battlefield into a transparent operating space. As the war progressed, reconnaissance gave way to direct, precision kinetic strikes with the rise of first-person view, or FPV, drones. Unlike commercial quadcopters designed for stable flight and high-quality photography, FPV drones are built for speed, maneuverability, and pilot immersion. Operators wear virtual reality goggles, flying these agile machines at speeds exceeding 100 kilometers per hour. By strapping rocket-propelled grenade warheads, mortar rounds, or custom-shaped plastic explosives to lightweight carbon fiber frames, military units created highly agile, low-cost loitering munitions. The economic math of this transition is staggering. An FPV drone costing approximately $500, piloted by a soldier in a dugout miles away, can systematically disable or destroy a modern main battle tank costing up to $10 million, fundamentally upending the cost-exchange ratio of modern warfare. To understand why modern tanks became so vulnerable, one must look at their structural design and the physics of armor distribution. Modern main battle tanks, such as the Russian T-72 and T-90, or even Western platforms like the Leopard are heavily armored at the front to survive direct horizontal hits from other tanks and anti-tank missiles. However, to keep weight manageable, their top surface, rear engine decks, and track assemblies are protected by only thin steel plating. FPV drones exploit these weak zones with extreme precision. Pilots can execute vertical dives, steering directly into the vulnerable rear engine vents, the narrow gap between the turret and the hull, or open crew hatches. Furthermore, the constant presence of overhead surveillance makes concealment impossible. Tanks can no longer exploit the cover of terrain or darkness, as thermal imaging drones detect their engine heat signatures instantly. The integration of drones has also triggered a renaissance in conventional artillery, transforming it into a highly precise, networked weapon system. Historically, artillery warfare relied on area saturation, requiring batteries to fire dozens of unguided shells to hit a single target. Today, drone spotters hover directly over target areas, transmitting live video feeds and precise coordinates to artillery batteries miles away. Using custom software, artillery crews can observe the impact of their first shell and adjust their aim within seconds, achieving near 100% accuracy with standard, unguided munitions. This loop, known as the reconnaissance strike complex, has dramatically reduced shell consumption while increasing target destruction rates, turning old, towed howitzers into precision strike weapons that can destroy moving vehicles with minimal waste. The strategic lessons of the Ukraine drone war are sending shockwaves through military headquarters worldwide. NATO planners are rushing to rewrite combat manuals, recognizing that their traditional armored formations would face severe losses without comprehensive local air defenses. The United States military is actively procuring thousands of loitering munitions and investing heavily in directed energy counter-drone systems and electronic warfare jamming devices. In Asia, Chinese military strategists are studying these conflicts to adapt their amphibious assault plans, realizing that heavy sea and land transports are highly vulnerable to drone swarms. Meanwhile, India is accelerating its domestic drone programs and swarm intelligence research, realizing that future border security will depend on dense, autonomous aerial networks rather than traditional border outposts. We are now witnessing the transition to the next frontier of conflict: autonomous swarm warfare and artificial intelligence. As electronic warfare systems and signal jammers blanket battlefields, the radio links between human pilots and their drones are increasingly cut. To counter this, developers are integrating low-power AI chips and edge computer vision directly into drones. These autonomous systems allow the aircraft to navigate without GPS, detect and classify targets like tanks or infantry, and execute terminal strikes completely independently of human control. When deployed in coordinated, self-organizing swarms that communicate and assign targets among themselves, these autonomous networks will be capable of overwhelming modern air defenses, introducing a terrifying era of fully automated, algorithmic attrition. The war in Ukraine will be remembered as the conflict that permanently democratized air power. The sky is no longer the exclusive playground of wealthy superpowers with advanced air forces. Instead, the battlefield has become a highly decentralized, lethal space where a small team of soldiers equipped with commercial electronics can hold entire armored divisions at bay. As militaries around the globe race to adapt, develop countermeasures, and integrate artificial intelligence, the fundamental rules of combat are being rewritten in real time. The drone revolution has arrived, and warfare will never be the same again.